In a world where millions of people trade the stock market, where 90% lose money, there was one man who beat the impossible. A boy sitting alone in a small Japanese apartment, a second-hand computer, a cheap plastic chair, no fancy office, no insider information, and yet, he turned 1.5 million yen, just $13,600, into more than $150 million. This is not a film. This is not fiction. This is the true story of Takashi Kotegawa, the greatest trader Japan has ever seen. Welcome to The Wiser, the place where you don't just watch videos, you understand how the world really works. Here, we break down money, mindset, success, and the hidden rules that shape your life. If you want clarity, wisdom, and straight-to-the-point knowledge, you're in the right place. Who is Takashi Kotegawa? Before the fame, before the money, before the myth, Takashi Kotegawa was just another teenager in Tokyo. He wasn't rich. He wasn't smart in school. He didn't even have friends that understood trading. He spent his days playing video games, eating cheap noodles, and scrolling through internet forums. But inside him, there was a fire. He once said, "If you find one thing you love more than anything, protect it, sharpen it, and master it." Trading became that thing. At the age of 19, he deposited his entire savings, 1.5 million yen. That was the start, how he started trading. Unlike many traders, Kotegawa didn't have a mentor. His teachers were public data, free websites, his own failures. He watched the market like a hawk for 16 hours a day. He didn't party. He didn't travel. He didn't waste a single yen. Every yen he saved, he invested back into the market. He spent months observing how stocks moved, how panic spread, how fear creates opportunity. And he formed a simple rule. When people panic, I stay calm. When people are greedy, I wait. This rule would later make him a legend. His first big win. Takashi's first ever big trade was during a market panic. A small Japanese company's stock crashed due to false rumors. Everyone was selling. Everyone was afraid. But Takashi saw something others couldn't. He knew the fundamentals were fine. He smelled opportunity. He bought the stock aggressively. And within a few hours, it bounced back sharply. 400,000 yen. Almost $4,000 in a single day. For most people, this would be a lucky win. But for Takashi, it was a confirmation. He said, "The market rewards the patient, not the brave." This win changed everything. The technique that made him millions. Let's break down how he actually made money. Takashi used a method known as buying panic, selling recovery. His strategy had 3 pillars. 1, he waited for panic crashes. When a good company fell 20 to 30% in minutes due to panic, Kotegawa entered. Most traders were afraid. He wasn't. 2, he used very tight risk control. He never risked more than 1% to 2% of his capital. If the trade went wrong, he exited instantly. No hope, only discipline. He said, "My losses are my tuition fees for the market." 3, he only traded liquid stocks. He needed stocks that moved fast and had huge volume. This allowed him to enter big and exit big. These 3 simple rules made him unstoppable. The trade that made him a legend. In 2005, the Japanese stock market faced one of its biggest scandals, the Livedoor shock. A tech company named Livedoor was accused of fraud, and the entire Japanese market crashed violently. People were crying. Markets were red. Investors were losing fortunes. And in the middle of this chaos, Takashi Kotegawa made the most legendary trade in Japanese history. He bought millions of dollars worth of stocks during the panic. While every trader was running for safety, Takashi kept buying. Why? Because he believed in one rule: panic always overreacts. And he was right. When the market bounced back, even slightly, Takashi made a profit of 2 billion yen. That's more than $17 million. In a single day, this trade wrote his name into stock market history forever. His extreme lifestyle. Most millionaires flex their cars, houses, watches. But Takashi Kotegawa was the complete opposite. Even after making millions, he lived in a tiny apartment, ate $1 convenience store meals, rode a bicycle, owned no luxury, had no hobbies other than trading and video games. Why? Because he believed comfort kills hunger. Hunger builds fortune. He lived simple, so he could focus. His self-control was his superpower. What made him different? So why did Takashi succeed where millions fail? There are 5 reasons. 1. Obsession. He treated trading like a full-time job, studied for 16 hours a day. 2. Risk control. He never let a loss grow. Small losses, big wins. 3. Patience. He waited days or weeks for the perfect setup. 4. No greed. He took profits early. He wasn't trying to be right, he was trying to make money. 5. Emotional discipline. He never panicked. He never acted on impulse. His mind was sharper than the market. Where is he now? Today, Takashi Kotegawa lives quietly. He almost never appears in public. He avoids interviews. He avoids fame. Nobody knows exactly how much he is worth today, but it is estimated to be over $150 million. His mystery makes him even more legendary. Takashi Kotegawa didn't succeed because he was lucky, or rich, or brilliant. He succeeded because he had discipline, patience, and hunger. In a world full of noise, he listened only to the market. In a world full of fear, he stayed calm. In a world full of excuses, he took responsibility. You don't need a rich family. You don't need a genius IQ. You only need focus. That was his philosophy, and that is his legacy. This was the story of Takashi Kotegawa, the man who turned $13,600 into millions. The story of Takashi Kotegawa is more than numbers, more than trades, more than fortune. It's a story of focus, patience, and unrelenting discipline. A reminder that in a world full of chaos, opportunity favors the prepared, the calm, the disciplined. Every chart, every panic, every loss is a lesson waiting for those willing to learn. Takashi didn't need luck. He didn't wait for permission. He built his own rules and followed them relentlessly. So ask yourself, are you chasing quick wins? Or are you willing to master your craft, one disciplined step at a time? The market doesn't care about excuses. It rewards the patient. It rewards the disciplined. And maybe, just maybe, the next legend is sitting quietly right now in a small apartment, ready to turn their first $13,600 into millions. Focus. Discipline. Patience. That is the path to greatness.